How can I help you, young man?
I heard you have some news for us.
Okay, let me give you the news.
Okay,
They are,
let me
like I have, man, I haven't rested since yesterday.
Yes.
A lot of messages. If I open my inbox, a lot of things inside.
Okay.
And they have been asking me about Australia, what's happening in Australia,
Yes.
Australian migration. The first news I want to tell people is this: if you're interested in coming to Australia, as I'm talking to you, just know that it's not business as usual. It's not a walk in the park. Now, what I want to talk about today is simple: skilled migration. This is not student visa now. It's for skilled migration, which means you have an occupation, you have a skill, you went to school, you have a certificate, and then this is what you're coming for. So number one thing is that I tell people, if you want to come to Australia for your skill, you're looking for a skilled visa. The first thing you need to do is to find your occupation in the occupation list. It's simple. Go to the immigration website and find the occupation in the occupation list, which is something that I have always been talking about, but people don't listen. Now, if you find the occupation in the occupation list, what is the next thing you need to do? The next thing you have to do is to be able to now begin what we call skill assessment. And I tell people this every time. Skill assessment is very important. People don't understand this thing. Skill assessment is like saying if you're a banker somewhere in Congo and you want to come to Australia, you have to do what you have to do. You have to do what you have to do that will qualify you to become a banker in Australia. So skill assessment is like these assessing authorities are people that will validate your experience and your skills. So one of the things that you need to understand for skill assessment is that they will ask you for a lot of documentation, including your passport, including your work experience. At least some people ask for 1 year, some people ask for 2 years. So all those things are in skill assessment. And I tell people that skill assessment is the major thing involved. If you want to get a permanent resident visa or a skilled regional visa, whatever kind of independent visa in Australia for skilled visa. Now listen attentively. I need water to drink, but I'll continue. The most important thing is that skill assessment. And what is happening in Australia right now demand that people, if you're watching me, make the move, because a lot of changes is happening. In my language, they say a lot of changes they happen. If they happen like this now, some people are in this country, they haven't done their skill assessment, they're on student visa, and right now everybody's shaking because there are some lot of changes. One of them is they are even telling you guys that if you're 35, you cannot apply for postgraduate visa. So everybody's not saying, how can I do my skill assessment? Both people in onshore and people that are not even in Australia, everybody's thinking about what to do. Now, another thing that is very important is this. As a matter of fact, when you do your skill assessment, you set yourself up to be able to get your skill visa as soon as possible. How do you set yourself up? Because by 1st of July, the Australian government, they will press what we call a set button. It's called a new financial year for Australia. That is when they will start updating even occupations, even skills, new laws, new rules. But one thing I can tell you is that if you're skilled, when I mean skilled, it means that you are a professional. You went to university, you have a degree. You know what? Some people will hear skill now and think that, oh, I'm talking about somebody that just electrician, somebody that does all those things. No, 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 no. I'm not talking about somebody that went to do maybe one or two things on programming. I'm talking about you went to the university and you have a degree. So when you have those skills, what will happen is that you will now do, after you do your skill assessment, you have a positive skill assessment. The next stage is you do what we call expression of interest. In expression of interest, you're telling the Australian states about 9 states in Australia that you're interested in coming to their state, and this is what you have. Now, when they check you out and they're okay with it, they will select you and send you what we call an invitation, an ITA, invitation to apply. So when you do your nomination and pass your nomination, the next thing is that you apply for your visa. And the next thing is that you're going to call me and tell me that you're coming here. So, guys, this is just a summary of skill nomination. So for some of you, it's talking about visa sponsorship here and there. See, visa sponsorship is okay, but it will work more for people that are in Australia. And also, if you're in medical line, especially doctors, yes, you should be talking about all those kind of levels. You understand? So this is a very important public service announcement. Now, for people planning their life, don't come and say because you're coming to Australia, you're planning on these things, you're going to pack your bags and just be waiting. Don't just pack your bags. So if you don't find your occupation, the other countries, Canada is good, New Zealand is good. New Zealand is like my brother here. We have many places to go to. So don't just say you're going to stay. It must be Australia. It mustn't be Australia, my brother. Maybe the way God they have kept your destiny might not even be in Australia. Maybe it's in US or maybe in Netherlands. So what am I trying to say? Please, for everybody asking me questions, I have seen all your questions, more than 10,000 questions. I am not going to just start answering it. This is all you guys are asking me about. So take action, and I will be sharing details about these steps as the days goes by. So by the way, don't forget to like this video. Number one, share this video if you want to, and then you know what to do now. Subscribe. All right, I love you guys. Oh, take care.